Hey gang, it's Lore-Master-Shroud, aka Will, coming at you from Frost and Fist again for another Shrouded Sunday. We're going to talk a little bit about the Emperor, the rise of the Chaos Gods, and we might get into the Dark Age of technology a little bit, as well as talk about a book that is being that reminds me of another book I'm reading. So let's get right into it. When last we left, we talked about the end of the war in heaven and the warp getting all jacked up left and right. We're going to fast forward 65 million years, and we're going to talk about the Emperor. Nothing is canon about the Emperor anymore. It used to be he had 2 or 3 different origin stories. With the advent of the Horus Heresy novels, which are considered to supersede everything, nothing is known about him. So we know that he was born in the 8th millennium BC in Asia Minor. He relates a story to a Custodes about the first time he exploded a dude's heart with his mind when he was a child. So he's always a potent psyker. But as you'll find out later watching these videos, he actually wasn't as potent younger as he was later. But there's a reason for that we'll get into. In addition to the Emperor, there are also the Perpetuals, a group of humans who can't die, that resurrect when they die, and in most cases have some latent psyker ability. They do famous things in our prehistory, like one of them was an Argonaut of the voyage of Jason and the Argonauts, things like that. There used to be canon reasons for their existence. They used to be the offspring of the Emperor. Again, that's not known anymore. We just know that there's the Emperor, and then there are Perpetuals. Now, chaos is intimately tied to the rise of humanity. They exist. The warp storms that would become the Chaos Gods existed prior to humanity because of the war in heaven, but they wouldn't take their concrete form until certain points in human history. For example, the Nurgle is first, achieving sentience sometime during the Plague of Justinian, which is between the 6th and 7th centuries AD. Khorne achieves sentience during the Golden Horde subjugation of Asia with Genghis Khan at the helm. Incidentally, Genghis Khan is believed to be the identity of Doombreed, the first Khornate demon prince. And then Tzeentch is last and gets his start sometime during the Italian Renaissance. So, sometime humanity rises after that. You know, from 81 millennia to the 15th, humanity rises. A couple of discoveries are made at the end of the 15th millennium. Warp travel is found to be possible through the creation of Stellar fields, basically anti-warp bubbles that surround the ship. Keeps out the hell, which is good, but it's real limited. You can hop to a star system, but it's got to be close, and it's really easy to just die. But concurrently, the navigator gene mutates in humanity, and now we've got mutants that can see into the warp, which is great, because now you can take longer and longer flights to further and further star systems. Finally, standard template constructs are invented. You see these get mentioned a lot. They're basically like mother boxes from DC. They're machines that can do anything. That since humanity has certain needs, like their houses are going to be like 8 feet tall ceilings. They standardize all everything a colonist might need. So if you've got one of these machines, you need I need 18 houses. I need 360 spades. I need 100 las rifles for protection. They just make whatever you want. It just makes whatever you want. And it is the holy grail of Martian mechanicum to even find like a scrap of a piece of paper put out by standard template construct. But we'll talk more about that later. For now, know that it was invented. You've got a 3D printer that can make everything you ever wanted. And put all of these inventions together and you've got a golden age of humanity. They invent stuff that is completely unknown to humanity for 41st millennium. They cured all diseases. They made lightsabers out of black holes. Don't ask me how they pull that off. sentient AI, Imperator Titans. All of the coolest things you could think of are invented around this time. The Eldar are at the height of their empire, and first contact is made sometimes during the 18th millennium. We don't take kindly to their Xenos ways, so we start putting the beatings on them. It's great. So there's alien wars, but we're not like empire expanding like you'll see later. And then we're going to get to the Dark Age of Technology next video. But, I mean, the dark part of the Dark Age of Technology, I should say. I'm going to take a little moment here, instead of talking more about the lore, to talk about a book. So I'm reading The Carrion Throne by Chris Wright. Chris Wright's a great author. This is a novel that just came out about Inquisitor on Terra rooting out some heresy. And it's a good book, but it's not the one I want to talk about. He actually revealed in this latest issue of White Dwarf, the 40th anniversary one, that his favorite novel was Draco by Ian Watson, which is actually, I believe, the first 40k licensed fiction novel. And you can see a lot of that in The Carrion Throne. You can see a lot of influence that he wanted to make a book very similar to it. I actually have it. This is the Inquisition War. Draco. That he's talking about. This is a omnibus that's been out of print for something like 13 years. There's a reason for that. Not only is nothing in these books canon anymore, but a squat is a main character of all things. There is nothing about this that Black Library once brought back. And if you read it, there are elements of it that are very silly compared to later 40k novels. But you have to keep in mind that these books came out a couple of years after Warhammer 40k came out, and they're silly to begin with. 40k was initially a silly setting where Space Marines were more like cops rather than like these regimented super soldiers. And the cool thing about Draco and the Inquisition War trilogy in general is that while it's not really canon, the setting feels more authentic than in most other Black Library books. Latin is used a great deal more as that High Gothic. You see cherubim, the cyborg fat-grown babies that fly around the Imperium for some reason. You see cyber skulls, and you just get that feeling of decayed archaeotech empire that I wish more books would do. I mean, it really works. Even though you've got some crazy other stuff going on in these novels, the setting works so well. If you can find a copy, great. Don't go into it looking for anything that's going to let you know more about 40k, because all of it's wrong now, and you may not enjoy it completely. I know that there are parts in it for me where I'm like, okay, I have to look past this and just tell myself that this is the very first licensed work of fiction based on an intellectual property about selling miniature toys. So, let it go. But it's a lot of fun to read. And alright, I think that's going to be it for this episode of Shrouded Sundays. I want to try and still keep them short. I appreciate the couple of you that commented asking for 10 to 15 minutes, so that's what I was shooting for. Really, this was about 10 minutes. And I appreciate the comments in general. Please leave more, like the video, share the video if you want to see me do more of these. I don't know if they're really hitting the spot for what you're looking for. Give me suggestions. Maybe one day I can do a live Q&A with Mythos and Freak, and we can talk about some of the stuff I've covered, just have a good lore conversation, so we can do a longer video since they've got the equipment to do better. I'm doing this off my Galaxy S5, so anyway, have a great week, happy wargaming, and as always, stay frosty.